Alright, gentlemen, so we have about 2 hours until the abnormals appear. I've been keeping chat nice and happy. Hello, chat. How you doing? So, first of all, thank you everybody that supported me over the past 2 or so years, because today I became a Twitch partner. It only took 795 Twitch streams to get here, but it turned out alright, didn't it? I've been on it like every single day. But now we're going to be talking about abnormals. So, here we are. We have the likes of the Dungeon Armored Door, the Constellations Garage Door, and of course the Twig Box. There's something to talk about for each of these three because we need to be prepared for the long term. We need to be aware that prices are in fact still good at the moment, but it's probably going to start going down at some point. We shall see, but my expectation is as we enter February time, prices really will probably start going down. Okay. So, let's start off with the likes of the Dungeon Armored Door. We have 23,600 plus sales already, which is, that's fine. It's a popular look. It's a good looking skin, and it doesn't surprise me that it sold so much. But here's the problem. When we apply it to the likes of skins that came out early in 2022, take for example Hellgate Armored Door, also looked very cool, also glowed in the dark, had 35,000, almost 36,000 sales, it struggled and suffered. Why? Because not too long later, we kept getting more and more armored door skins being accepted, and suddenly this didn't look so special. Now, half the reason why this sold so much is because we used to hardly ever see armored door skins, but then afterwards we saw tons, and suddenly this was technically oversaturated, and people, demand versus quantity, suddenly there's less demand because there's more options, and so many options came out in such a short amount of time, that struggled. So now we look at this, and it has 23,000 sales. Not as close as 36,000 sales, but it's like, what's the best way of putting this? As of current times, this is still quite a lot. When you compare to the recent sales that we've seen with the likes of the Armoured Doors, as in the most recent ones that have come out, Constellations had 13,000, this had just barely almost 11,000, this had 11,500, and then this Christmas one had over 21,000. This amount of sales right now, almost 24,000 sales, is a lot for now. And if we do see a very similar situation like last year, this will struggle, and it will become a problem. And like I said, when more and more new things come out, the demand for this will start to go down, but the quantity will remain. And what's going to happen? It's going to get thrown onto third-party sites. It's going to get thrown onto the Steam market, and suddenly it becomes a lot less desirable. But we do have some positives. Take, for example, I just looked at collections a minute ago, and yeah, this is definitely going to become a collection. Stepan is stepping up. We have seen the likes of the Dungeon Garage Door in the Tuesday workshop skin checks, so that's happening, and I wouldn't be surprised if that also gets accepted, and I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing some more dungeon doors being accepted in the future. So what I'm saying is, this definitely looks like it could become a collection, and of course we have seen this recently, most notably with the likes of the Constellations collection, for example. When a new piece appears, a new deplorable skin in a deplorable collection, the pre-existing ones jump up in price. So that could happen, and that's basically what happened, as I said, with the likes of this Armoured Door. When this appeared this week, this shot up to about $5 to $6. So if we see another garage door, the Dungeon Garage Door, appear, this very likely could shoot up in price. The demand increases because people expect much more in the collection in the future. Investment is there, and yeah, you get the idea. So I am a bit worried, but I'm also optimistic. It sold a lot at $3 almost. So you got to think get in the head of Face Punch. This is reliable. For $3, it sold almost 25,000 sales. It made them a lot of money, and it made the creator a lot of money, and it's motivated the creator to keep making more skins in that collection. And if people like the theme of this, they're going to keep buying more of them, more designs, more newer skins of that collection, aka the Garage Door, for example. So Face Punch would think, you know what? Because this sold so well, we'll probably add the Garage Door next. And then that will probably sell for $3 as well, and that will probably do 20,000 sales, and Stepan will still keep making dungeon collection skins. So do you get the idea? So I feel optimistic we will be seeing some more dungeon skins later on. And Stepan, if you're listening to me, you really should make like a dungeon rug so that we can put skeletons, catacomb skulls all along our walls, because then it'll look really cool. So, just giving you a heads up there. It doesn't have to glow, but do you get what I mean? Take that design that you have of the skulls and put it on a rug, and then people can place it all around their bases. Just giving you a heads up. So yeah, that's cool. Anyway, I think, so if you want to play it safe, you could probably do between $1.20 to $1.50. But if you want to put a bit more faith into it, we could probably go up to about $2, maybe $2.20. Now, I'm being cautious, because you have to understand. Like I said, prices are good now. Loads of money, loads more people are currently playing still. In fact, here we go. Rust player count. Rust player count. Rust player count. It's a weekday, so it's not as good. But over the past weekend, we had about 130,000 people playing, and it wasn't a wipe day weekend either. So that's still good. The average player count is still doing all right, and in February, we're expecting a much bigger update, a proper update, so I would expect a lot more people to return again. Same pattern as we saw February 2022, loads of people did return again. So, yes, I would expect the dungeon garage door to be accepted, and I think this is going to work out right. So I might do around $1.20 to $1.50. And then I might push it and do like $2 to $2.20. That's my buy orders. I'm going to buy order with 2 accounts is what I'm saying. I'm not sure what you're going to do, but that's what I'm going to do. So if you just want to be aggressive, you could go higher in price. But yeah, that's the idea. That's what you can do if you want to. So yeah, now I'm going to talk about the Constellations garage door. Now, Constellations collection is made by the same guy that made the likes of the Outer Planets collection. And someone just sat there and asked, literally just about 10 minutes ago, because I've been talking that long, is this looking like it's going to be a great profit? Is everything lining up? Is it going to be all right? And I instantly thought, you know what? What's the best thing to compare this with? The Outer Planets garage door. Now, if you see how it lined up, it was the 4th skin of the collection to be accepted. This one's the 3rd skin of this Constellations collection to be accepted, so it's fairly close in terms of when it came out. So this has 20,000 sales. This had 14,000 sales, so that it might not be the best of things to compare. But let's go take a look and see how well did the Outer Planets garage door do in its timeline. So let's go see how it came out. And it literally just rose up in price. It literally just rose up in price. I'm not sure if this is the best thing to check out. Okay, so what price did it sell for? This sold for $2.99 in the Rust store. And at its lowest point, it was selling for around $2.40. And then, yeah, but that was November time. You can quite clearly see November time. And then it shoots up in price for post-Christmas. Just kind of sidelines, and then it just goes up. And it just. So, I get the feeling we might see something very similar happening, because Cavency loves to make his deployables, and I wouldn't be surprised if he keeps making more, and he has. He made another sheet metal door, so we do have a Constellation sheet metal door currently in the workshop at the moment. So, I think, in terms of what we see there, it's optimistic. But then let's also just take a nice look at all the skins that were accepted in 2022. So let's just go do that real quickly. We're going to go take a look. Yep, what do we see? 14 skins accepted. Scroll down to 2021. 14 skins accepted. Scroll down to 2020. 18 skins accepted. So at the very least this year, I wouldn't be surprised if we have around... I guess we could probably end up with 14 skins maybe. Yeah. I'm expecting a reasonable amount of garage door skins to be accepted, and like I said, much like with that armoured door, if we do see quite a lot of garage door skins being accepted this year, that would affect this, of course. But let's go take a look at the likes of... So, these skins came out earlier in the year. No, actually, that came out in the summer. Wow, we had a bit of a drought early on. But like the Tiger garage door looked really cool. Simple, nothing too crazy. Sold for $3.49. Now it's selling for $6.74. Very nice. This right here, it's not as simple as that Tiger Garage door, but in terms of potential investment, because the collection might continue, and I do expect we will see some more Constellations deplorable skins being accepted. I think it's looking to be pretty okay. Now, there was one point I made, I believe it was during the Rust Door rotation video. During the good times, garage doors sell very nicely, so as long as they're not holiday themed. See these two? Holiday themed. Blah. But everything else here is doing quite alright. Now, Bombshell garage door is still suffering because there's still 403 of them on the market. I don't know why that's happening still. Very weird to me. But other than that, the only garage door that's really struggling at the moment is this Ruined garage door. That's the only one. All of the other ones, they're fairly in the positive, or at the very least, very close to their Rust Door prices. So, yeah, Constellation's garage door, worst case scenario, will be profitable in the long term. But in the short term, if you're thinking, oh, can I make a quick flip? Probably not. But when it's good times again, at the very least, that will be perfectly fine. And I'm going to sit here and say, I think I'm going to do a $1.50 buy order and a $2.20 buy order. And I wouldn't be surprised, within the next month or so, if we see another Constellation skin being accepted. And now I need to talk about what happened properly, because when this garage door appeared, see these two doors? What happened this week? Reaction. There was a reaction. So this was just kind of doing its thing, and then, oh look, that garage door was accepted. Doubled in price. Now, it didn't hold, but it's still doing better than what it was before. So this was selling for like $2.40, $2.50, and then the garage door gets accepted. Suddenly everybody jumps in, and now this at one point, just a few days ago, was selling for around $5.50 to $6. Now it's selling for $3.50. So, yeah, still doing better, but like, yeah. Do you get what I mean? So then now we'll go take a look over here. Yep, you can see the same thing almost. This like went up by 50%. Yeah, went up by 50%. So there is a pretty decent chance that if we do see another Constellations door skin being accepted, or deplorable, you name it, this will jump up in price as well. And I've said this with the likes of Tempered collection. I'm going to mention it with Twig as well. So yeah, Ghoulie says, Outer Planets came out later in the year when prices started to rise. For Constellations, right now prices are expected to go down. It will do well in the long run, but at the moment I wouldn't push it. Estimates also close to Bombshell. We can't tell how many. No, okay, let me point this out with Bombshell. Bombshell's struggling because there's so many of them on the market, and I still don't know why. And let me show you a nice sense of clarity of Bombshell, because a lot of people think it's struggling in terms of price. No, it's simply due to the quantity. So let's give you a nice visual. I have Steam Inventory Helper. There's 407 of these on the market. Cheapest one right now is $1.98. And you might say, oh, it's got too much resistance, it's got too many problems. No, go take a look. Do you see 400 quantity here? No. 235 of them are selling above $3.74. Basically, the Rust Door price of this garage door was $3, if you remember, but like more than half of the quantity is selling above $3.74. If that guy removed his quantity, I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if people started to actually buy in and start making the price go back up again. I feel in the long term, Bombshell will actually flourish. It's just kind of being held back by some lazy people who thought, oh yeah, I'll just dump everything I own. And yeah. Because if you remember, someone actually bought out tons of the stock when this first became marketable to make it above $5. And it attracted a lot of people to start loading all of their stock onto the Steam market. And well, of course, now we have 407 of these here. In fact, let me also double down on this point. Garage door. If I type garage door here, search by quantity, it is the highest quantity garage door skin by a big margin. Get a good look at that. So, I don't know. I'm confused, but yeah, it's as simple as that. Is it done on purpose? I don't know, but it's there. So, yeah. That's the explanation for the bombshell garage door. So yeah, I'm gonna put that to the side now. I still think $1.50 and $2 or up to $2.20 is perfectly fine for this. The long-term safety net, I guess you could say, is appealing to me, and I feel like that's fine. Like I could put my money into that, and I'll buy a few here and there, and I know that in the long term, at the very least, everything's gonna be fine. It's going to be all right. All right then, so that's out of the way. Let's now talk about the likes of the Twig box. So, Twig collection. Okay, that's down in price already. Well, that was expected. We'll take a look at that in a second. But yeah, Twig box. This has sold a lot less in comparison to this Twig door. But in all fairness, the Twig door was a great fit in terms of Twig bases. And as I said, not everybody plays default Rust. People like to play modded servers. People like to have Twig bases. So it fits very nicely. And you might sit there and say, oh yeah, and you can see through the holes. Yeah, wonderful. But we literally just had, this week, Trust in Rust. And there's a wooden door that's being given out for free right now as a Twitch drop, which is glow in the dark, and you can see through it. It's perfect. Alright? That right there cost $3. No, $2. And unfortunately, it already got eclipsed, I guess you could say. It's been eclipsed by something that was given out for free. So suddenly I think a few people thought, oh no, I'd rather just sell mine now and use the one that I got for free. That very likely could be an answer. And I honestly don't, I wouldn't be surprised if we see even more wooden doors in the future that get accepted that you can see through. I literally just saw a submission this week called Log Door that had holes in it. So yeah, there are some people that are trying to copy the theme now. And yeah, so in that aspect, it's losing its gimmick. And now the problem of how many were bought might start to, 235. Yep, we can see the problem's already beginning. Too much quantity was bought. The cheapest one right now is $2.04. But the quantity keeps rising and rising. Everyone who is able to sell their skin is doing that. Loads of people are selling their Twig doors or listing it onto the Steam market. And if too many people keep doing this, we might end up with a situation like the bombshell garage door, where there's far too many on the Steam market. People assume that's a bad thing. They start lowering the price by listing it over and over again, undercutting each other, and then it ends up being cheap. So, but with this Twig box, let's stick with the Twig box. That Twig box, it's not super flashy. It's silly, but it's not super insane. Will we see another Twig skin potentially being accepted in the future? Well, on the horizon, we have seen the likes of the wooden double door right there. So maybe. With the amount of sales that the single door had, I wouldn't be surprised if that gets accepted. Also, it's a double door, so I'm going to buy into it as well, 100%. Double doors are very nice investments. But yeah, I get the feeling we will be seeing some more Twig skins. There's no guarantee, but I got that feeling that there's a decent chance it'll happen. So this Twig box, 11,000 sales. Compare it to the most recent skins that have been accepted. Newest Blue Lotus box did all right. It glows in the dark though. So we'll probably put that aside. This glows in the dark, this glows in the dark. Maybe the best ones to compare to are probably the likes of the Spray Can small box and the Small Tiger box. Small Tiger box at the very least isn't super colourful. Yeah, it's red, but that's it. This is silly. Alright, what about if we looked at the cheapest one? Maybe the cheapest one could enlighten us. So the cheapest box is $1.61. That's good. Small boxes are good. So by default, when times are good, as in prices are nice post-Christmas and usually some point in spring or summer, there's going to be another time when prices are really good again. This is going to be in a positive, I'm sure. The amount of sales it's had, I don't expect any potential problems with people that bought too many of them. So in that aspect, I'm not expecting oversaturation. I'm expecting good things. I'm expecting more Twig deplorables, large box, furnace, locker. There's loads of things that still can be made. A rug. I get the feeling that actually might be a pretty good thing to invest into. Cheapest one is $1.61, remember. Now, could they get cheaper? Yes, they could. But when times are good, will they go back up in price again? Probably. I am going to do So my safe buy order, $1, perfectly fine with that. $1 is totally fine. But with my second buy order, I might do $1.50. Yeah, maybe a bit more. Maybe a bit more. The fact that this hasn't got as many sales as that Twig door, and I'm feeling confident that we will see some more Twig stuff being accepted. I think $1 and $1.50 is totally fine. You could push up and do $1.60 or $1.70 if you want. But just know, this week, no Twig stuff will be accepted. That applies to everything. No continuations tomorrow, with tomorrow's roster rotation. It's Lunar New Year skins only, I believe. So, at the very least, there potentially might be some people that might think, oh, they didn't get a new skin accepted, I'm going to dump it now, because there are impatient people. So keep that in mind. Yeah, I think I got the prices all figured out. So $1.20 to $2.20, $1.50 to $2.20, and $1 to $1.50. Yep, that's all good. I think we got it all figured out now. So yeah, that's nice. Oh, I only talked for about 20 minutes, but I'm sure I've transferred a lot of context and useful information to you. But yeah, that's that. Prices are still okay. It's not bad. Just give it a good look on the old weapon barrel right now. Cheapest one is $13.50. 2 stragglers. So then it goes all the way up to about $14 there. Are we seeing a bit of a downtrend? It's fairly okay. Nothing too wacky, nothing too different. You should also point out there's no major resistance here, so the prices could go up, could go down, could go up, could go down. You get the idea. So, yeah, I think everything's seemingly okay. But that tempered large box, my God, how many of them on the Steam market now? Remember, the average amount I usually expect for a regular Rust skin would be 100, and that has 348. When times are bad, this might struggle, but let's see what happens. But the demand is there for it. That's the other thing. Alright, so, gentlemen, that is the skins for this week, and, today, because Abnormals are going to be appearing in about an hour and a half, so get yourself nice and ready. But let's just skip ahead. Okay, 10 seconds to go, gentlemen. Best of luck to all of you. I'm going to start off with the garage door, then the box, and then the armoured door. It is now midnight, and now I refresh. And what do I see? I see nothing. I see nothing. Right, what about over here? Oh, there you go. That's the box. Okay, box is the first one that we're going to go for. 73 and 40. And then what we have there, we have 1.15 and 40, and what do I have here? Right, 0.73 and 40. Okay, wonderful. Right, now we're going to go over to here, but I'm going to just skip ahead so we don't have to go through all that again. So. Right, gentlemen, so it's been about 6 minutes. We've done our buy orders. Everything's nice and good. But what we have here is something that we've seen for the past few weeks. Very high buy order amounts. But why? What's going on? Well, do you remember the people that kept doing very, 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 very high quantity buy orders? Well, there they are. They're back again. They're doing it all over again. But will they actually stick around, or is it all just for show? Because this one right here is quite high up, and if the sales do reach to this, will he instantly run away? Like, the very second that he starts buying any, it instantly disappears, vanishes, and then we've seen buy orders like that before, where you try and sell something to the highest buy order, and it just magically disappears. I think that's what we're probably seeing. I think it might be fake buy orders to make it seem as if it has more demand than what it actually has. So just keep that in mind. But let's just stick over to here. Let's start talking about the Constellations garage door. So right now this is selling for $2.99, and we have buy orders going all the way up to $2.70. Now you might sit there and say, oh, well, that's looking very good. That's looking very strong. Well, okay, so remember what I said. In the long term, there very likely will be more garage doors coming out that will likely take away attention from this, and it very likely could go down in price when times are not as good as now. Prices are good now. Prices aren't always going to be good. Prices might get a bit weird as we enter February, March, April, you name it. Remember last year when we had the CSGO Major? Well, we have another CSGO Major tournament in May again, the exact same time as last year, and we had a very bad market crash because of it. However, that was most likely due to the fact that we had very nice looking stickers for that tournament. I don't think we're going to have as good stickers compared to this. Now, stickers being CSGO cosmetic things, so don't worry too much about it. If they're good, we might have a market crash because people liquidate their Ruskins to put towards CSGO. Or if they're bad, like Rio, which was in November, we might not notice things so badly. But routines and patterns tend to happen all the time regardless, so I would expect prices to be going down anyways as we enter February, March time. But yeah, the bulk of the buy orders here, as you can see, it's that 900 quantity guy again, 200 just below it. This has to be some sort of bot or something. Like, I don't know what's going on. And do they hold? Well, we'd have to go look at some of the skins in the recent past and see if they are still there. Are they just trying to inflate the value? Probably. But what we can say is the bulk of the buy orders are above $1, so that's okay. But the one thing I am noticing is if we exclude these two buy orders, the sheer amount of buy orders are above $2. It's got a lot of support and it's going all the way up to $2.99 with a $2.70 buy order. But like, will it hold? Will things still remain very nice for the Constellations collection? Will it still keep getting skins accepted? Will it all flourish still? Fingers crossed, I think we're going to be fine. But I can't guarantee it's going to be fine forever. We are going to slip. We are going to go down in price. We saw it at the Outer Planets garage door. At one point, it was selling for around $2.40. So, we shall see. We shall see. Other than that, for now, it looks good. Lots of support. Looking very healthy. If you want to buy some of these tomorrow, I think it's looking okay. But what you could do is you could just do the highest buy order. You could do $2.80 and you'd be the highest one, and you'd get them for 20 cents cheaper than buying them from the Rust store. So if that's something you might want to do, I mean, it's an option right there and available right now. But I do get the feeling, as time goes on, I don't think we're going to immediately see another Constellation skin being accepted, and I think we will see this go below its Rust store price at some point. So yeah, keep that in mind. But for now, everything seems very strong. And it seems very well supported. So let's just leave that for now. Now we have the Twig Box. Twig Box is selling for $1.99 at the moment. And the buy orders are going only up to $1.40, $1.50. So yeah, I was expecting this. I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up selling below its Rust store price. Of course, there's no support. But I wouldn't be surprised that this potentially reaches around maybe $1.20. And if this does remain, it will definitely stay above $1.20. But if it doesn't, then it's probably going to go down to $1. Now, again, the influences. If we do see more Twig skins being accepted, could this cause to go up in price? Yes, it could. Are we seeing more Twig skins being made? Yes, we are. So will they be accepted? We don't know. But yeah, usually small boxes, very reliable. I made a big fuss about talking about the Blue Lotus box 2 weeks ago, and for all the small box storages, they at least usually hold their value. Usually. I mean, right now there's only like one that's below its Rust store price. All of them are doing very nice and are very comfortable when times are good. So at the very least, I think the Twig box will eventually go back up above its Rust store price, but it might take some time. It might take a whole year until next year's post-Christmas. So that could happen. So keep that in mind. If you're looking at that thinking, oh yeah, short-term profit, no. Then we have the Dungeon Armored Door. Dungeon Armored Door, of course, has that fake buy order there. Again, I shouldn't say fake buy order, I don't know just yet, but yeah, that's a 900 right there as well, much like all the other ones. This is a $2.99 skin, and the bulk of the buy orders, not as much bulk buy orders around $2, much like what we saw at the Constellations garage door, but we do see some very strong buy orders all around in between $1 to $1.50, and then we see an extra batch leading all the way up to $2 and slightly above $2. So this is looking pretty good, but that I am seeing with my eyes there people being concerned about this probably isn't going to hold its value. This is probably going to be going down below its Rust store price at some point. And I would agree. I would agree that this very likely could happen. We do see that this is being turned into a collection, but with the amount of sales that we had, and the likelihood that we're going to see a ton of armoured doors again this year, I get the feeling this might go below its retail price. Like, I mean, that's not too hard of a estimate to make, as we showed earlier. But with the sales, this is looking to be a bit of a problem. So, yeah. That's it. That's my answer. I think we probably don't want to buy this tomorrow. The only thing I would consider buying is the garage door. I might buy some. I'm not 100% sure. I might just do what I said, put down a $2.80 buy order and be happy with that. So, yeah, that's basically it, gentlemen. That is the buy orders, the abnormal buy orders. Now we need to quickly talk about what prices we might want to do for the regular skins tomorrow. Immediately, I will talk about these two. These two have had no interest. And unfortunately, you take a quick look and see all of the most recent MP5 skins. What do I see? What do I have? Yep. Bad. Negative everywhere except Blackout MP5 and Neo Soul. And then down here, bad except Comics and Quarantine. So yeah, MP5 are struggling. MP5 skins are struggling because the MP5 doesn't get used as much as it used to. So that's not looking too... Right, so with this then, I reckon we are going to probably want to do a 70 cents, 90 cent buy order. All you want to do is just take a look and see all of the most recent Python skins. And what do I see? I see trouble. Because, yeah, even the most recent... This came out literally a week ago. It's already down by 30%. You take a look at all the most recent ones in 2022. Only the Blackout's in the positive, part of the Blackout collection. So, yeah, that's doing good. And the military Python is being pumped up. So, I mean, that was $20. Now it's $5. So that's probably going down now. But, yeah, all of these struggling during the good times. So Python skins just don't really do well. And this one hasn't sold that much. So both of these, 70 cents to 90 cents. And yeah, the reason why we want to say that is because metal usually sells for around $1. And yeah, a 70 cents to 90 cents offer on this and then turn it into metal and then sell the metal, that's going to get you at the very least evens back. Now, one thing I should bring up with the Cybercode MP5, because you might look at the Cybercode collection and see, well, that's not looking too good. But what we saw recently in the workshop made by Mr. Eros, he's making armour. Eros is making armour. And I have seen this before. When armour is accepted in a collection that already has weapon skins, for example, best example would be Skullkiller. When the armour is accepted, the weapons actually do go up in price. So, I mean, you probably don't want to get rid of these immediately if you do a buy order, because we might potentially see Cybercode armour being accepted in the near future. That's not a guarantee, it's just a hard maybe. So, we'll put that aside. As you are aware, tomorrow is Lunar New Year Rust or rotation, so we're only going to see Lunar New Year skins, I assume. Should be. It's how it's been every other year. But anyway, now we have the Arctic Protection burlap pants and hoodie. Oh, shirt. Okay, so these have had 35,000 sales each, and this is a problem. I reckon we're going to end up at around maybe 37,000 sales, because I think there's going to be a whole bunch of people making some very late purchases at the last minute. But what do we see? We are matching up to the poncho. Not directly like matching up to that amount of sales, but let me point out to you, poncho struggled. Poncho struggled throughout this year. It was not doing good for a long time. Yes, it rose back up in price a bit, but unfortunately it has 674 quantity on the Steam market. But yeah, it's got a lot of resistance. It's not going to flourish. This was a 99-cent skin. And if you sell it for 99 cents right now, you make a loss because, well, you get the idea, taxes and whatnot. So, yeah, it took a new skin for it to match up back to its Rust Door price. It did suffer greatly. At one point, this was selling for like 45 cents. But then, now, of course, it's selling for $1. Will it hold its value at the moment? Probably not. But if we keep seeing more Arctic collection skins being accepted, as you can see, the burlap head wrap and the burlap shoes were submitted this week. This could potentially keep on going. Could potentially keep its price up. It could potentially turn into a profit. Now, at the very least, burlap clothing, because we hardly ever see it, it's actually a pretty good investment. Now you can see that pretty much all of that is in the positive. So, it's a really weird one. because with so many sales you would expect problems, but let me just point out to you, the likes of the Fisherman Burlap stuff, that had 28,000 sales. The Burlap Disco had 28,000 sales. Fish stuff had 26,000 sales. So we've seen loads of sales before for burlap shirt and pants, but they still did good in the end. But like, take a look at Burlap Disco, for example. For a long time, it was cheap. It was cheap, got a bit better, cheap, got a bit better. Now all of a sudden it's gone up in price. But that came out 2 years ago. Do you want to buy these and hold on to them for 2 years to sell them for $2 each? Wouldn't you rather put your money on towards something else that's going to be much more profitable in a faster time? Do you get what I mean? It's this is looking to be like a 50-cent buy order. Unfortunately, that's what I'm going to sit here and say, because I feel like when times are bad, lots of these are going to be appearing on the Steam market, and lots of these are going to be appearing on the third-party sites, much like what we saw the likes of the Poncho. So I'm just wanting to keep that in mind. Now, what I could at the very least is take a look at the week this came out, click this, get a good look at the information. How many do I see in the third-party sites? 244 in Skinport. Yeah. And there's hundreds all lined up here. So, yep, it's looking to be a very similar situation, and it's not looking very pretty. But that's all the negatives. As I said, we could see some more Arctic Collection skins being accepted. These very likely will jump up in price if we see more Arctic Protection skins being accepted. But we have to wait and see if it actually happens. Burlap is a rare sight to see. We don't see it that much. In fact, in general, for some strange reason, tier 3, tier 2 hoodie pants, they're not seen as much anymore. Last week, we didn't even see any piece of clothing, so I don't know. You know what? That's actually a very good point. Let's go take a look at December 8. I want to see how many hoodies do we have in comparison to 2021. So 2022 to 2021. We had 16 hoodies in 2021 and 15 in 2022. All right. And then in 2020, we had 26. Wow. What about pants? This is just for me. I'm curious. So pants. Show me all your pants. It's going to be the same, isn't it? 15, 16, and 26. 25. Oh, okay then. Right, so yeah. We shall see. But this is looking to be a 50-cent buy order. Poncho got down to around 45 cents. Will these end up the same? Or will they all do better? Maybe this will only go down to about 60 or 70 cents. It's decent camouflage. Mr. Micro did a very good job showcasing it in our Saturday Skin Showcase. Hiding in a bush. I couldn't see him. From a distance, I could not see him. And he easily could shoot me, like no problem. And even when he shot me, it wasn't super easy to notice. So it is very useful Arctic snowy environment camouflage. So we'll keep that in mind. So yeah, that's just basically everything. So YouTube, thank you very much. Again, thank you to everyone that supported me this year. I'm very happy to get Twitch partnership. I don't know what else to say. Just keep an eye out. Maybe things are going to move on very nicely. And last thing to quickly bring up, we go over to here. We check the workshop. No, Rust. I'm already on workshop. Get a good look. Can you click, please? Anyway, thank you. Collections. TTG's top picks. Now, for some strange reason, there's regular skins here, not Lunar New Year skins. I don't know why it's 50-50. So, but yeah. Lunar New Year skins. We have a lot of double doors. And I am looking forward to one of them being picked. Double door skins are usually very easy investments. So, fingers crossed. Let's see what happens. I get a good feeling we're probably going to see the double armoured door. I think Duck's got that sealed. Fingers crossed. If that gets accepted, a double armoured door skin that glows in the dark, I'll be buying 100 of them. So, yep, that's all good. Chat, YouTube, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed yourself and have a lovely day tomorrow.